Mark chapter 10 verse 31. But many who are first will be last, and the last first. Jesus has just told the disciples about the hundredfold blessing awaiting those who have left everything for the sake of the kingdom of God. He now adds on another statement that is both encouraging and discouraging. Many who are first will be last, and the last first. Those words are discouraging for those who are first now, but will turn out to be last in the end. Who would fall into this category? If you look at the story of the young ruler alongside the promise of the hundredfold blessing, we'll get our answer. In the eyes of the disciples, the rich young ruler was far ahead of them in terms of blessings. He was enjoying the fruits of his success and was clearly one of the first. However, he had forgotten that God was the one who had blessed him and trusted in his wealth rather than one who had given it to him in the first place. When Jesus told him to give up everything he had and follow him, he left sadly, unaware that he would now become the last. If you recall the hundredfold blessing, the young ruler's life would now be 100 times less happy than the disciples who had left everything to follow Jesus. The fact is, those who treasure what they have may consider themselves more blessed than those who have less. But this is not the case. If they live without recognizing God as the ultimate blessing giver, they are poor and wretched. In contrast, Jesus' statement in today's passage was encouraging for those who are now last, but will be first. What kind of person is this talking about? In the context of the passage, it refers first of all to the disciples. Most of them had not been fortunate enough to get a good education. Some are fishermen, and we can assume that they were not rich. However, they saw something far more important than the wealth and fame of this world. Eventually, they left everything to follow Jesus. In the world's eyes, they were poor and wretched. But according to Jesus' statement, they would be first. They were not there yet at the time Jesus was speaking, though. They were still struggling to unlearn their deep-seated and misguided concept of blessing. At the same time, Jesus was teaching them what it truly means to be blessed by Him. Did they ever learn the lesson? Yes, thankfully. They came to see their lives through Jesus' eyes and experienced His promise of abundant blessings. The gap between these two groups is clear even in this age, but will become much wider in the age to come. Please don't misunderstand me. Jesus did not mean that only the rich and successful belong to the first but will be last group. You can be a member of this group even if you don't have much to your name and haven't achieved anything really significant. What matters is who and what you put your trust in. May God bless you with wisdom and understanding about the nature of this world and of the world to come, so that you can take your place in the last but will be first group.